Good evening, Dan. How are you doing? I know it's late in the
I'm
night.
good, thank you.
I know we didn't get a chance to do our previews for Wimbledon, but the app I created was able to predict. Was able to predict. You did your picks, and I think you're currently in the top two spots. I think, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
wow.
So
Okay, well, I'll
you're
take
doing
it.
you're doing pretty good. Like with all the picks that you've made, I think you're looking very very good um, for this right now. You're right now in the second spot right now, and
Wow.
you have Sinner, Djokovic, Zverev, and Shelton in the semifinals. So you got three out of the four right, and then you got Sinner, FAA, Djokovic, Kaboli, Fritz, and Zverev. So you got six out of eight right. So I got to give you kudos to
Jeez.
where it's due. Yeah, and then meanwhile, I have Sinner, Zverev. So I got two out of the four right, and then I got Sinner, Kaboli, Zverev, three. So I got three out of eight
Okay.
right in my quarterfinals, and you got six out of eight right. So kudos to you
Wow.
for using technology to make your picks instead of paper this time. So yeah. So the two
I think
matches.
I'm doing better than Roddick as well.
Yeah, you did. You did. I think Roddick did not have all these good picks actually. But you have, I mean, I think you picked good picks there. I think, the ex Wimbledon champion or the previous year Wimbledon champions, Sinners there. This year, French Open champion Zverev is there. This year, finalist, I think Djokovic was in the final in the Australian Open, right?
Right.
Losing to
Right.
Alcaraz, so he's there as well. And then and Djokovic has, what a match it was yesterday. We'll get to the semifinal, but quickly want to recap because I think the Sinner match was much easier. The Zverev match was easier, and there's a good story going on for England. Arthur Ferry,
Yeah.
but the big story yesterday, I got to watch the fourth set, the fourth and almost the fifth set for the Djokovic and FA. What a game it was! What a match it was! Just wanted to hear your quick thoughts on that match before we pivot to the actual semifinal previews.
Yeah, I mean, I think I joined the action right around the 3rd set as well, maybe right around the same time you did, maybe a little earlier. I was, surgery day, so got home and was able to, put on the TV, and, thankfully, it was a long match. I was able to catch the last few hours, and, what a match it was. It looked like once, Djokovic went up 2 sets to 1, I had it on the radio on the way home. I thought maybe he would cruise to an easy 4-set win. Maybe he took the wind out of FAA's sails, but FAA was tough, and that 4th set took the tiebreaker relatively easily in the 4th set, I think. And then that 5th set was an all timer, just as far as some just amazing points, amazing rallies, just typical Djokovic, just digging deep and playing amazing defense, and just always being I did comment to you at one point. I was a little disappointed on some of the service games of FAA where I thought, Djokovic, he returned beautifully. He would be in a rally and then just kind of, miss the third or fourth rally ball. And you said, well, it is the fifth, it is 5 hours. He is 39 years old, but I've got a pretty high standard for Djokovic, at this point after watching him so much the last several years. And I thought he was, I was a little disappointed he didn't break him and, and win before it went to a super tiebreaker. But to his credit, also, there were several games in that 5th set where Djokovic was down, 5-30, love 30. There were a couple of games where he had to dig deep himself and charge back so that he wouldn't allow FAA to serve it out. So overall, just classic Djokovic, just being major, crazy defense at the end, just a little bit better. His gamesmanship, just the way he was, just his strategy, a little tougher, and just came through with the bigger points at the right time. And here you fight longest tournament match, right? I don't know what the longest all-time Wimbledon match is. You might have heard of that. This was the longest match of this tournament. Probably the longest quarterfinal match
This was
ever.
the longest
And
quarterfinal match, I think. This was
yeah, yeah, but like you said, it was just classic back and forth. Tiebreaker, he got off to an early start and a quick start and cruised to a pretty easy victory in that super tiebreak. I think it was 10, what was it, 10-6 or something, or 10-5?
yeah, in the final, the fourth set, the
Cruise.
fifth set. It was
Yeah, the fifth
10-4
set, the
last set.
super tiebreak, 10-4. Yeah, so he
10,
cruised
10,
to a
10
pretty
four. Yeah, it
pretty
was.
easy tiebreak. Yeah. But it's just
Yeah, I think he
classic
didn't have any
Novak
problems
once again.
there. Oh,
Yeah.
just incredible. There were a couple of shots I saw in the fourth set, and where his returns were just out of the roof. I mean, the FA has stayed in the game because he had 29 aces or 14 aces. I actually covered that in my daily recap, but FA played just brilliantly. And, I think
Yeah.
I saw something on X that Novak Djokovic's wife actually posted something on how her kids look up to FA and one person had
Yeah.
to lose and, it was very tough. But I think I really admire FA. He's been, like I said, he's played brilliantly. Just vintage Djokovic. I think, there's nothing to say anymore. I mean, I think he was just phenomenal. Just throughout the tournament as well. But this is when he's playing against the top five players in the world, and he's beating them. Like we've always talked about it.
Yeah.
It's Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, and the rest of them. I think, and then Zverev won the French Open. The question remains to be seen what he does. But anyway, I mean, so far Sinner has had an easy. Except for the first round where he played Kekmanovic, where he had a five-setter. But after that, Sinner has had a very easy, except I think he had like one tough matches, some 7-6 matches. But other than that, I don't think Sinner has been tested really. But Djokovic was not tested
Yeah.
for a while. I mean, he had like a tough match. He dropped a set against Rinderknech. But other than that, he's also sailed smoothing for him. And then Zverev has looked very good. Like his record after the French Open, he's been playing out of his mind. But the story is Arthur Ferry from England. I mean, I've not heard much about
Yeah.
this guy. And he's 23 years old, and his career highest ranking is 114, and he
Yeah.
made it to the Wimbledon final. So I think it's great for the
Semifinals.
British because I
Semifinals.
think
Yeah.
yeah, he's gone to the
Yeah.
semifinal right now. Yeah, you're right, but he was ranked 114 in the world. So but
Right.
let's quickly go down to the each of these games right now. So tomorrow we have Ferry taking on Zverev. That's the first match, and Sinner and Djokovic in the second match. I mean, he's Ferry's the only unknown entity for us. I think. I mean, I didn't think I really knew about much about him. I think I might have seen
Yeah.
him in a draw here and there, but I never paid attention to Arthur Ferry
I've never
so
heard of
far.
him. I heard today a few things about him that he played 2 years at Stanford. Okay. So he played a couple of years of college tennis over there, and then he's been on the tour the last couple of years, but never had a finish quite like this. I'm not sure if he had a good run at one of the grass court tune-ups. I think I might have heard that today on the on one of Rada on the either the Rada commentary on ESPN or maybe his podcast. That he had a good run at one of maybe the German tune-up on grass. But regardless, he's also you're right. He's not only from England. He's from the small village of Wimbledon. He's from the town right where this tournament
Yeah.
is. So he's literally living at home with his parents right now. He's staying at home, and so home cooked meals, sleeping in his childhood bed. Can't beat that story. It's like maybe the closest corollary would be maybe the McEnroe brothers when they would succeed at the U.S. Open. Being from Forest Hills, they're from Queens, right back in the day. I'm not sure what actual borough or what town, but they're from Queens, and and Johnny's success at the U.S. Open. So that might be the biggest, the best corollary over the years. But regardless, yeah, quite a story. As everyone's calling it, the fairy tale. Obviously, I'm not the first one to use that term, but quite the fairy tale. So we'll see if he wakes up or not. But right now, quite the dream.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I looked at the stat line against Caboli. It was similar winners, but just the unforced errors by Caboli were just huge, like three times what Ferry did. He just kind of grinded everything out for the first couple sets, and then just kind of took away his will. Caboli's will in the third set was gone, and he served him a good old bagel in that third set. So um,
Hmm.
I think it's going to end. I think Zverev is just too tough. His record in majors. Do you hear what Zverev's record in majors is this year? He's
No.
17 and 1 right now in majors this year. So
Wow.
he got to the semis of Australia. He won the French, as we know,
Australian.
when Sinner was out. He won the French, and then he's right now 5-0 at Wimbledon. So he's 17 and 1 this year so far. But I think his first serve percentage is just tremendous. Zverev, like in the 70s with 130-mile-per-hour serve. So how are you ever going to break? How's he going to get broken? I don't think it's not going to be an easy thing to break Zverev. And I think where he succeeded today, Zverev against Fritz. I was looking at those stats of that match too. Was Zverev won the vast majority of points on his own second serve, but won a majority of points on Fritz's second serve. So that shows that he's returning well and that
Yep.
he's rallying really well. And he's coming to net too. So I think the fact that he's improved his game so much on the return and all that, I think that's just gonna be too much for Ferry. The crowd obviously will be 100% on Ferry's side. So we'll see if Zverev
Oh,
can just stay mentally tight and overcome the crowd. That'll be the biggest issue. They'll be 100% going for the local boy. But I think Zverev in three. I really think it's be in three sets, maybe four, but I think three. How do you see that much going?
well, I think going back to what you're saying, yes, he is from Wimbledon. You're right. I think his best record in a Grand Slam was the second round. I think somewhere in there. I was just checking it when you were talking about, and I think that's
Mhm.
why we've not heard much about him. I mean, all the players that in England that you've typically heard about, like a Draper or Cam Norrie, like
Yeah,
Norrie was pretty good until
Andy Murray,
recently,
Hendon,
but
all those guys. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, well, I'm talking in recent memory. Draper was
Oh,
even
recent.
as
Yeah.
world number 4 or 5, right? So, and then injuries, and then did we not see Draper in the U.S. Open semifinal once against
Yes, a couple of
Sinner?
years ago. Yeah,
I think we
against
saw him
Center.
against
Yeah,
Sinner, right? So, yeah, that's
correct.
just recently, last year or year before, yeah. So year
Yeah,
before,
2
yeah.
years
So
ago.
we saw Draper. So Ferry is somebody who's come out of nowhere, and to your point about, I mean, so we talked about Zverev's record 17-1. I think Ferry's record in majors or even ever, not just majors, ever is 5-9 or something like that. So I think, and this is after he's been winning all these matches recently, right? So think about this though. So I think the Zverev completely demolished Fritz, right? I mean, it's 4-4-2. I mean,
Yeah,
and Fritz is
that's impressive. Yeah,
playing
that's yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah, he's playing impressive. He just lost that tune-up game to Tiafo, I think Eastbourne or one of those matches anyway. But I think I see it the way you see it. I don't think Ferry. I mean, I'm not saying he won't have a shot. He may actually pick up a set, like you said, because the momentum would carry him. But other than that, I don't see him winning against Zverev. And you're going to see Zverev in the second straight final in a Grand Slam. So that's what I see it. And then the marquee matchup, Sinner versus Djokovic. And before we get to the matchup, 8 straight semifinal. I think Djokovic has been in the semifinal, or he's been in the final in the Australian Open. I think in the French Open was when he lost to, what is that? He lost
Fonseca.
earlier,
Yeah,
right?
Fonseca. Yeah,
Fonseca,
yeah,
right? So
Fonseca.
that's the only loss he's had earlier, but I think Wimbledon 8 semis. I think everybody knows the record in Wimbledon, Roger Federer. But I think either way, if you think Ferry is not going to win, Djokovic has to now go through Zverev and Sinner to win his 25th title. So what do you see it going here in the Sinner Djokovic matchup?
I mean, I wish it was the other way around. I wish Djokovic had a semifinal with Sinner. I mean, I'm sorry, with Zverev, so he could get to the final. But I think once again, I think we saw this semifinal last year. I think right, Sinner. I want to say it was Sinner Djokovic semifinal last year at Wimbledon. Yeah, because I think Djokovic got to all four semifinals last year, if I'm not mistaken, at the majors. So I'm pretty sure this is a repeat of last year's semifinal, and I see it unfortunately going the same way. I just think Sinner, if it was after the first match, when he struggled against Kecmanovic, I would say, all right, maybe, Sinner's a little off, he's a little rusty, still, I think the issue there was he hadn't played since the French Open after his meltdown with the
Mm,
heat and all that. He took a few weeks off, about 3 weeks off before Wimbledon. So he was probably a little just needed some reps and some match reps. So probably a little rusty. But then you said last four matches after that first round, Sinner's pretty much gone through unblemished. And I think Sinner's back at peak form right now. His serve is great. Everything else is back to where what we expect of Sinner. And unfortunately, I think Sinner is just a better version of Djokovic at this point. I mean, nothing, no knock on Djokovic. He's 39. As you said, his was it ninth straight or eighth straight semifinal at Wimbledon, and
8.
craziest stat it was eighth straight, and then I forget what the number is. I saw it somewhere today. I think it's his 55th major semifinal he got to. Each semi he reaches is a new record because he's the record holder. He eclipsed forget who he eclipsed. Federer is probably number 2 if I had to guess on the semifinals career major list. So, Djokovic, yeah, 55, semifinals at majors, just remarkable. But unfortunately, I see this one going the way of, I mean, going the way of a Sinner. I think Sinner is not going to really. He's gonna be tough to break. I don't see Djokovic breaking him much in the match, maybe once. And I think Djokovic is breakable. Unfortunately, if his first serve is he's got so much better on grass with that first serve. A lot of the easy points he's generated with just great placement and down the tee out wide. I think he's gonna have to mix it up a little bit and do some serving and volleying to keep Sinner on his feet, on his toes. But I think it's going to go the same way as it went last year. I'm taking Sinner in 3. Really, I think Sinner's going to sweep him. Yeah,
Well, I think your center and threes. That's a pretty big um,
yeah, that's the way
statement.
I see
I
it.
think Djokovic is playing better. I'm not denying it. Same as with Sinner, especially after he had the scare in the first round. But the way I see this one, I think one thing is that when you think about the matchups, matchups define everything here, right? Matchups define everything we're talking about. So when you think about the matchups, Djokovic has a tough time against Alcaraz. I think something about Alcaraz's game doesn't go well with Djokovic. Having said that, I'm when I think about when tomorrow the weather is going to be nice, I think mid 20s or whatever, which is not bad
Nice.
for it's going to be mid 80s, 70s, 80s. So I think weather wise, it's not going to impact Sinner at all. From that standpoint, what he suffered from the heat or something happened in French Open that he lost to, what is that, Surrendolo? He lost to. But I think Djokovic actually poses some problems for Sinner. I don't see it as a three-setter. I actually see this as more like a four-setter and maybe a five-setter tomorrow. At least at a minimum four-setter. I would be shocked if Djokovic loses in three. That's just me, I think. I think I don't think uh, he's going to fold that easily. That's my thing.
Yeah,
Djokovic will probably
I
pick
just
up.
pulled up
Yeah.
last year's match. Sinner
Yeah.
Djokovic semifinal at Wimbledon. 3 so Sinner got him 3, 3, and 4, and I'm looking at the stats real quick. Here's the craziest breakdown. Here's the problem I think is gonna happen where win percentage on second serve. Sinner won 71% of his second serve points, whereas Djokovic won 17% only on his second serve. So
Wow.
that's the problem I see. I think Sinner's gonna
Yeah.
climb all over that Djokovic second serve if he doesn't go big or just I just get a huge percentage of first serves. So that's where I get
Mm.
nervous with Sinner winning the points that once they become neutral. He's just a better version, I think, of Djokovic at this point, unfortunately. So we'll see. I hope it goes 4, maybe 5. I don't know what he did in Australia that neutralized him. That what Djokovic did to Sinner at Australia to beat him. That was quite the match. How
Yeah.
he pulled it out
That's
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and Djokovic, had even Alcaraz on the ropes for a while, right? So, you see, and I think as much as I feel that Djokovic is not a great matchup for Sinner, I think I'm going to lean Sinner as well, and we're going to have Sinner and Zverev in the final, and both of us are going to have the same person in the final, and those are the two people we picked to get to the final. But I think Djokovic is going to go four sets. I'd be shocked if he loses in three. I mean, I'm just
Okay.
going out on the limb and saying it. And I think this match won't be until depends on when the Ferry match and Zverev match ends. And who knows? Now, if Arthur Ferry wins the match and then Djokovic somehow pulls it, 25 is still on the cards. Is still on the cards. That's what I would see it.
Yes.
But I think you never know with Sinner. I think it's almost like you're taking it one day at a time with him. I mean, especially no one knows what
Yeah.
happened at the French Open. And after that, he didn't play for close to 30 days. He didn't play a single tournament. He lost the French Open and showed up straight at Wimbledon. And that kind of rust kind of showed in the first match against Kekmanovic. But after that, he's been breezing through completely. So that's what I see it. So you see a Sinner and Zverev final, and you see Sinner Zverev, and I see Sinner and Zverev too. I
Same
think
thing.
Djokovic will
Yeah.
give. Like I said, it's going to be a close game. Yeah, it's going to be a close game, and then I think we all pick Sinner. I think to win it all, and I think. I mean, how cool would it be if Zverev actually came in and won back to back? That again puts him on a
You
different
never know.
planet right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I mean,
I think Sinner
he's
does
like
it,
you
but
said, he's
my
17
prediction
and
is they're
one.
gonna have, 17-1, so, he's yeah. My prediction is that Sinner will win, but I think there's gonna be like at least 4 sets, and I think there's gonna be 4 tiebreak sets too. That's my prediction in that final because I just don't see many breaks of service. And Zverev is so tough to break right now with that 70 something percent first serve percentage that they go 130 miles an hour or 135, just
Yeah,
rockets. So I think we're gonna get at least 3 tie breaks in that final. But if it's the two of them, maybe every set goes to a tie break. It just I just don't see many breaks to serve. It's just gonna be I think really
yeah,
come down to the tiebreaker. Whoever plays the big points better.
mm,
So we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one surprise was like Koboli, for all the things that we talk about Koboli, that he's like top 10 talent, the fact that he lost to
Yeah.
Arthur Ferry, that surprised the heck out of me today. And the two in straight sets, I
Yeah.
think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
um,
thought
so
Kabali
Sinner,
would.
Zverev, and then we both picking Sinner. Are we both picking Sinner to win it all?
Yes. Yes. I am.
Yeah, I
Yes.
picked Sinner too in my the pool that I had, but seems like you're headed for a big win, I think, on that one. So
Yeah.
I got to come up with some
Captain
prizes
Straight.
or
All
something
right.
like that.
Thank you.
So Captain
Yeah.
Street, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
Captain Street,
Yeah.
yeah, not for other people, not for other people. And but I think that's again, you picked 6 out of 8, so so that's actually pretty impressive without the paper. I think you're going global. You're going online after this for next tournament. I think the U.S. Open tournament. We're going to make. I'll do something very similar to the U.S. Open. This app has some chinks here and there, but I think it was able to, for the most part, it worked fine. I think, but yeah, and that's what I see too. I mean, any quick comments on the women's thing? I mean, I think if you want me to tell you who was playing the
Yeah.
women,
I mean,
um,
yeah.
you got Coco playing against. Um, Hold on. You got Coco playing against
It's Muhova,
Muhova
right? Coco
and
against
Kostic
Muhova.
playing against Noskova. So does
Pliskova.
Coco win
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
third major? Yeah, I think
Yeah. I mean, I think my
Muhova is
impression,
not
first of
easy.
all, is yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, my first of all impression was even though there's been a lot of upsets and all that in the ladies game with, 3 of the top seeds, I think, going down, right, with Iga, Sabalenka, and, Iga, Sabalenka, and who's the 3rd? Rybakina, 3 of them out. Oh,
Rebecca.
but if you still look at the remaining women there, we have it's like they're all top 10, I think, or top 11 or something, the 4 remaining women. They're
No,
all,
they're
like,
all in the
top,
top. I
top
mean, the
tier.
Kostic is 12, but all of them are in the top 12. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all so it's not like we're having all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy
All four
upsets.
of
I mean,
them are
we're
top
having
12.
some big ones, but yeah, but that's pretty good to have 4 of the semifinals all in the top 12 because in ladies game, there has been a lot more parity recently with a lot of, upsets, but we're having 4 pretty big household names now for those who follow tennis, in the final 4. How do I see it going? I guess Coco's really dominated apparently head to head against Muhova. I think she's won 6 of 7 matchups, I think I heard today. That's surprising.
Mhm.
I did not I would not have guessed that. So I guess I'll go with the numbers there. I think the crowd's going to be big time, big fans of Coco there. They like her, they embrace her on center court. So I think the crowd will help propel her. And what's the other crazy stat? I was talking to someone last night, our friend Jay Rapp. I saw him at Pickle. He said he was watching the Coco match and he heard a stat that Coco in majors, I don't know about majors or all tournaments, has the 3rd best record all time already of, the matches that go to 3 sets. She has like a
Wow.
70% win
Yes.
clip in matches that go to 3 sets, right behind, I think, Chrissy and Martina all time. So
Wow.
I that's crazy.
That's
So I think she wins in 3 sets, Coco, and then, in the other match, I'm gonna go with the hot hand, Kostyuk, right? Kostyuk
Kostic.
over there. I think
Kostic, yeah,
she's the hot
from Ukraine.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's on fire this year. I think I gotta go with her, and I'm gonna go with Kostyuk to win it all.
Yeah. Well, I think when you think about what I was thinking about, Coco, 4 out of the last 5 matches that she played are three setters. So that proves that's
Yeah,
exactly what
there you go.
you know. It's good this one, but I do think that Coco is going to win the Wimbledon this year. I feel it. This is going to be a third
Huh,
major. She's already won a French Open. She's already won
right.
a US Open, and I think this is
Alright.
that puts her again in a different category right now to win
Oh,
three
yeah.
Grand Slams in 3 different surfaces. I think Coco
Yeah.
has it in her to win it all. I don't think, like I said, she's if there's anything like you just talked about, she doesn't nothing phases her if she's done one set. Or nothing phases her if she's even if she loses a second set after winning the first set. She knows how to play these three setters. And the more it goes into the three setter, I think the better experience she is. So I think Coco, I mean, you're right. Mohova has been playing out of her mind, but I think I'm going to pick that and then Caustic as well, and it's going to be a Coco and Caustic, and then Coco prevailing on that as well. So there you go. So All right. Anything, any trivia you have? I didn't have any because I know I was trying to do
One
the
trivia,
FIFA
yeah,
one
we
the
got
first.
one good trivia question. This is a good trivia. This is a tough
Yeah.
one. The only one who might get this is Lee Glassman or Rob Keppel, but even they might be a tall task for them. So we talked about Arthur. What's his name? Arthur Ferry. Is that his first name?
Yep.
Arthur Ferry, he's a
Yep.
qu wild not a wild card, actually, a wild card, in this no he's yeah, he's
Hmm.
because I guess, the home country gets, like, 8 wild cards, I learned today, so they can, do what they want with those 8. So he's a wild card. Who are the other 3 wild cards at any of the majors to reach a semifinal?
I think I know
Only
one.
3 times as a wild card.
I think I know one. One should be Goran Ivanisevic.
Correct. He actually won the whole thing that year, right, at
He won
Wimbledon,
it. He
right,
won it
that's
all,
correct.
and he was actually higher. He was actually ranked higher than what Ferry is ranked right now, which is 114. He was actually ranked higher than that. I
I
think
think
the
he
other
was, correct. He must
two.
have had some injuries.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm thinking about it. Recent memory or folks from the past. I'm just
No,
trying to
one
see how
was,
far we
he
have
had an
to go.
amazing he's one of the all-time stars in tennis, this one. Mr. He's like, some I don't know what they call him, Mr. America, what they call him, but he had an amazing run at the US Open, that year where he, kept on talking to the camera and getting the crowd into it. Yeah, he was, remember that huge run he had at the US Open? He played,
Jimmy,
Aaron Krickstein in a match. Yeah, Paul Harhoos, remember that? All those crazy matches he had. Yeah, Jimmy Connors was a,
Jimmy Connors.
wild card that year, US Open, give him that. And the
Yeah.
3rd was at the French Open. He's one of the all-time good French players, a lefty French player.
Not, is it Yannick Noah?
No, lefty, this guy, yeah.
Lefty?
Yeah,
Lefty
lefty,
French
Henri
player.
Leconte, Henri Leconte.
Henri Leconte. Okay, okay. Wow. That's
Yes,
going back way back,
Henri
I think.
Leconte.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah,
I knew when I knew the Goran part, and I think that was a good one with Jimmy Connor. So two of them have won majors, right? So on Leconte too, right?
yeah,
I think yeah, that's a good
yeah.
trivia. But 1 out of 3. You know what? I think we should post this question right now in the group chat. I think I want to see how many
Okay, let's
people
do
get
it.
it without Googling.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I
Yeah.
bet they get
So,
Goron, that's
all
the only
right,
one. My
just
guess is they all get
good.
Goron, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that what was that? So we have to say who are the 4 people. Well, everybody now knows Arthur Ferry's there, so we need to say the other
Right,
3.
yeah,
So I think
yeah,
I do think that's a good one, and I think no hints on that. So let's see if the expert tennis expert Lee or Robert get it. So we'll see. All right.
yeah.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Just hold on a bit. Good night. I'm going to stop the recording.